Then the AB thing again, and we talked about it on here. The problem with the way AB acted was that we didn't even get to shed light on what BA did that was fucked up. Like, you gonna cut me in the middle of the game? Tell me to get the fuck out of here? And I guess this takes us into AB at it again. We'll go back to not overthinking the room, but AB's at it again because he's going on I Am Athlete and he's saying what he got to say. Let me see if I can get this clip to actually play.
Why did Brandon Marshall make him?
We've got nothing.
Why did Brandon Marshall make him look stupid?
Why did Brandon Marshall what?
Make him look stupid? In a sense of,
I don't
Brandon Marshall is so well articulated. And think about it, and think about Brandon Marshall as a whole.
He's Mr. Mental
He's somebody that dealt with mental health issues himself, if you remember. Do you remember that? And so, so it's funny that they were even talking about that mental health and how we kind of brought up when it happened to AB that, you know, even without knowing the specific details, and even if that was true, everybody agreed that that was unprofessional the way that he handled that. And so, and maybe it wasn't professional of BA to do it that way himself by saying, "Hey, man, you're cut," like in the middle of a game. But
we don't see that. We just see we don't even see the coach arguing with the player. We just see the coach coaching up the player. That's the perception. And we talked about it in the group, man. So AB said, "There's nothing wrong with my mental health. Someone told me to get the fuck out of here. I'm not passive aggressive." And to a fault, AB is just a nigga. And we talked about that on here. Like, he wanted them that, like, hey, here's the principles that I stand on. And one thing that I did like that he said, he was like, y'all talk about players having mental health issues and stuff. I'm trying to protect my mental health by you talking to me like this. I'm gonna remove myself from this situation because I can't live like this. Like, if I live like this, my mental health is gonna be off.
And that's fair.
You know,
that's fair. Like I feel that way. I handle situations like that when I feel like I might get upset or like I'm gonna like say something. I feel like I'm gonna say something that I don't. I just kind of remove myself from it. That way I don't do it. And some people, you can judge how I handle it by walking away from it however you want. But I'm going to still do what I think is in the best interest of not just myself, but you too, whomever it is that, whatever it is that we're talking about, you know?
But here's the difference in what you're talking about and what AB's talking about. Now, say you're arguing with the lady in your life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically. And there's one way where you can go, hey, look, I don't really want to talk about this right now. I'm going to the bar. I need to relax, right? I'm gonna take a drive, or I'm gonna go out, hit some golf balls, do it. Excuse me, do whatever I do. Or you can be like AB said, hey, I don't want to talk about this right now. No, you didn't talk about it. You know what? Fuck you then, bitch. Nah, I don't want to talk about this shit. We'll talk about this shit later when I'm ready.
And then do it in front of people and then be like, y'all, look at this hoe. Fuck this bitch.
Yeah.
Like, in front of everybody, and then just start running off. Like, you know, like.
And that's what AB did. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just saying, hey, all right, I'm just gonna stay on the bench for the rest of the game.
Get myself a job.
Say, right. And people gonna say, AB, how come you didn't play in the second half? Oh, I got cut. I'm no longer on this team. And they go, oh, what happened? Blah, 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 blah. And now it's at AB. I mean, it's at BA instead of AB. You know what I'm saying? Oh, BA, AB. I like that. So instead of now, when you and your girl get into it and you go, fuck that shit. Nah, bitch, I ain't talking to you. Man, look at this bitch. See how she acting. We ain't talking right now. When you do that, your next conversation is no longer about what you were upset about and what you were walking away from because you knew you were upset. Now you're talking about how you publicly embarrassed me and how you disrespected me. You disrespected
and
her.
You showed your ass and how you really feel about me too. And
right.
Like, yeah.
Because again, AB had a great point. He was like, bro, he didn't want me here. I knew he didn't want me here. He made it very clear he didn't want me here. And then he gonna say all this stuff about me and talk to me this way. So it's like, fuck you. Right. And I think one of the things
I'm only here because Tom's here anyways. You guys would have never signed me if anybody else was the quarterback. You guys could have had Aaron Rodgers and I wouldn't have been on the team.
Right. And I think one of the terrible things about our culture is our black culture champions fuck that. Yeah, AB. Fuck him. He ain't going to talk to you like that. And it's like, yeah, you have a certain level of self-respect as a grown man, grown woman, whoever you are. But there's also a certain way to approach those situations when you're not in a place of power. You got to understand, like, Bow Wow put something on his story today. He was like, I wake up and I wake up and do whatever I want to do. He's like, I wake up and do whatever I want to do. A lot of people aim to be that place. And that's truly what we aim to be. A place where we can just wake up and do whatever we want to do.
For sure.
But when you're not in that place, I talked about it on the pod last night. You have to just shut up. You have to conform and fight. You know what I mean? Like, you have to conform to the environment in which you're in, and you have to fight to either change that environment or change your standing in that environment or change your environment totally so that you can have the leverage to do what it is that you want to do.
Exactly. And most people have got to realize that, like, something my dad told me a long time ago, you got to give up some ass to get some. At the end of the day, that's always going to be the case unless you're born into a billionaire family and something like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for the most part, you don't have to give up some ass to get some ass. And it's the same thing, even with the betting, for instance, that I can just talk about firsthand. You're going to have to because first of all, for the most part, you're going to lose more than you win anyways. We're not God. Nobody can predict everything perfectly. So you're going to lose more than you win. Now, the question is, when you win, how hard are you going to hit them? And so, like, you know, you got to really, really hit them hard, specifically with the betting. But, like, you know, everybody's going to take an L in general in life. And so you got to be prepared. How do you respond to taking that L? What do you take something away from it? Or do you just, you know, what did Jalen Hurts say earlier this year? Or do you just, you know, do you flush the deuce down the toilet? Like, what's your reaction to that L? That's going to help build that next W, and then it's going to show just how much you appreciate winning. You know what I mean? Kirby, I think that it made this national championship that much more sweeter for the Dogs because Kirby, he knew that they could beat them because they kept having them in positions where they were going to beat them, and they just didn't finish. But what did he do? What did they do this past game? They finished as hard as they could. Kirby's like, go down. Ringo, he's fucking running it back. He said, nah, coach, we're going to finish this game. Like, you know what I mean? If I can run this back, I'm going to run it back. And what did he do? He ran it back.
And here's the crazy thing. I'm willing to bet you that Kirby said all year, you know, like Mark Richt used to say it, finish the drill, right? That was one of his things, finish the drill. Kirby's like
Christian man.
Huh?
I said that great Christian man that Mark Richt was.
Yeah.
Right, the community just loved it because Mark Richt was a likable guy. Like,
he's a likable guy, but he was not a championship coach, and that played out over his time.
That's why he didn't have one. Yeah.
Right. But Kirby was telling them, hey man, when you smell water, when you smell blood in water, you attack. You don't wait, you attack. And although Kirby in that moment is saying get down, but I promise you, weeks leading up to that, months leading up to that, spring training, training camp, all of that was
finish the play.
Finish it. And that's what we did. You know, so
there was doubt if he had went down, there was doubt because they still had the time. They still had 3 timeouts. He goes down.
And they got Bryce Young.
And they got the ball. And they have the Heisman winner at quarterback.
We got Bryce Young, and we got Stetson Bennett. You know,